Mahabharata section 3 Paushya parva Adi parva. Sauti said, Janamejeya, the son of Parikshit, was with his brothers attending his long sacrifice on the plains of Kurukshestra. His brothers were three: Srutasena, Ugrasena, and Bhimasena. These three are the children of Parikshit, and Parikshit is son of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is son of Arjuna. Arjuna is son of Panduraju. Panduraju is son of Vyasa, and you can say Vichitravirya. Uh, then also born to Ambika. Then he is son of. Anyway, we will come to that. So Bhimasena, they were sitting at a sacrifice. They arrived at the spot of an offspring of Sarama. Sarama is a celestial bitch. Okay, normally when you have a dog, when it barks, pow is the sound that you hear. But when a celestial bitch barks, it's going to be Om. And belabored by the brothers of Janamejeya, he ran away to his mother crying in pain. And his mother, seeing him exceedingly, asked him, Why criest thou so? Who hath beaten thee? And being thus questioned, he said unto his mother, I have been belabored by the brothers of Janamejeya. And his mother replied, Thou hast committed some fault for which thou have been beaten. He answered, I have committed not any fault. I have not touched the sacrificial butter with my tongue, nor I have even cast a look upon it. His mother Sarama, hearing this, and much distressed at the affliction of her son, went to the place where Janamejeya with his brothers was at his long extending sacrifice, and she addressed Janamejeya in anger, saying, This is my son, hath committed no fault. He has not looked upon your sacrificial butter, nor hath he touched it with his tongue. Wherefore hath he been beaten? They said not a word in reply. Whereupon she said, As ye have beaten my son, who hath committed no fault, therefore shall evil come upon ye when ye least expect it. Janamejeya, thus addressed by celestial bitch Sarama, became exceedingly alarmed and dejected, and after the sacrifice was concluded, returned to Hastinapura and began to take great pains in searching for a Purohita who could, by procuring ablution for a sin, neutralize the effect of the curse. See, Mahabharata has now started. Okay, the story of Mahabharata starts here with the curse of Sarama to Janamejaya, where a dog has been insulted for no fault of his, has been beaten. And the story of Mahabharata ends with respect to dog, because Yudhishthira in Swargarohana Parva would uh, honor the dog, saying that this dog should also go to heaven with me. So, this is how Mahabharata comes as a whole circle. On the day Janamejaya, the son of Parikshit, while at hunting, observed a particular part of his dominions, a hermitage where dwelt a certain rishi of fame, Srutasrava. He had a son named Somasrava, deeply engaged in ascetic devotions. Being desirous of appointing that son of Rishi as his Purohita, Janamejaya, the son of Parikshit, saluted the Rishi and addressed him, saying, O possessor of 6 attributes, let this thy son be my Purohita. The Rishi thus addressed answered Janamejaya, O Janamejaya, this is my son, deep in ascetic devotions, accomplished in study of the Vedas, and endued with full force of my aestheticism, is born of a womb of she snake that has drunk my vital fluid, and he is able to absolve you from all the offences, save those committed against Mahadeva. But he has one particular habit. He would grant to any Brahmana whatever he might be begged of him. If you can put up with it, then take him. Janamejaya thus addressed replies to the Rishi. It shall be even so. And accepting him as Purohita, he returned to his capital. And he addressed his brother, saying, This is the person I have chosen for my spiritual master. Whosoever he may say must be complied with by you without any examination. And this his brothers did as they were directed. And giving these directions to his brothers, the king marched towards Takshasila and brought that country under his authority. Okay, now we have to talk about two things. This Somasrava is born to a she snake because the vital fluid semen was consumed by the she snake and gave birth to him, and he became a great sage. And Takshashila is a place where you will see Mahabharata being narrated, and he can destroy all the sins that has been committed except Mahadeva. Okay, that's what he spoke. The Somasravas capacity is, that's what Srutasrava Rishi has told about his son Somasrava. So Brahmastane Kritam Papam, Vishnustane Vinashrati, Vishnustane Kritam Papam, Sivastane Vinashrati. Sivastane Kritam Papam, Gurustane Vinashrati. This is what Shastra says. That is, when you commit a sin against Brahma, then it can be destroyed by Vishnu's grace. And if it is done at Vishnu, then it can be destroyed by Shiva's grace. If you have done committed something wrong with Shiva, then you can go to Guru and then get rid of that curse. But if you have done anything wrong with your Guru, no God, no creature in this universe can save you. This is the Shastra. This is the reason why you should always respect your spiritual masters and serve them without questioning them. If you have accepted someone as your spiritual master, then he should be fit to enlighten you about all these things. About this time, there was a rishi, Ayoda Dhaumya by name. Ayoda Dhaumya had three disciples, Upamanyu, Arni, and Veda. And the rishi bade one of his disciples, Arni of Panchala, to go and stop a breach in water course to attend of a certain field. And Arni of Panchala, thus ordered by his preceptor, repaired to the spot. And having gone there, he saw that he could not stop the breach uh, in the water course by ordinary means. So he was distressed, and because he could not do his preceptor's bidding, but at length he saw a way and said, well, I will do it this way. He went down into the breach and lay down himself there, and thus water was confined. After some time, the preceptor Ayoda Dhaumya asked his other disciples where Arani of Panchala was. They answered, sir, he has been sent by yourself, saying, go and stop the breach in the water course of the field. Thus reminded, Dhaumya addressed his pupils, let us go to the place where he is. And having arrived there, he shouted, O Arani of Panchala, where are you? Come here, my child. And Arani, hearing the voice of his preceptor, speedily came out of the watercourse, stood before the preceptor, and thus addressing the latter, Arani said, here I am in breach of the watercourse, not having able to devise any other means. I entered myself for the purpose of preventing the water running out. It is only upon hearing your voice that, having left it, allowed the waters to escape. I have stood before you. I salute you, my master. Tell me what I have to do. The preceptor thus addressed, because in getting up from the ditch, you have cast open the water course. Thenceforth shall you be called Uddalaka, as a mark of your preceptor's favor. And because my words have been obeyed by you, thou shalt gain good fortune. And all the Vedas shall shine in you, and all the Dharmashastras also. And Aruni, thus addressed by his preceptor, went to the country after his heart. The name of another of Ayoda Dhaumya's disciple was Upamanyu. And Dhaumya appointed him, saying, go, my child Upamanyu, look after Kain. According to his preceptor's orders, he went to tend Kain. Having watched them all the day, he returned in the evening to his preceptor's house, and standing before him, saluted him respectfully. And his preceptor, seeing him in good condition of the body, asked him, Upamanyu, my child, what do you do to support yourself? You are exceedingly plump. He answered, sir, I support myself by begging. Preceptor said, what is obtained in alms should not be used by you without offering it to me. And Upamanyu thus went away, and having obtained alms, he offered the same to his preceptors. And his preceptors took from him even the whole. And Upamanyu thus treated went to attend cattle. Having thus watched all the day, he returned in the evening to his preceptor's abode, and he stood before his preceptor, saluted him with respect. And the preceptor, perceiving that he still continued to be in good condition of the body, said unto him, Upamanyu, my child, I take from you even the whole of what you obtain in alms, without leaving anything for you. How do you at present contrive to support yourself? And Upamanyu said unto his preceptor, sir, having made over to you all that I obtain in alms, I go a begging for second time to support myself. And the preceptor then replied, this is not the way in which you should obey the preceptor. By this, you are diminishing the support of others that live by begging. Truly, having supported yourself so, you have proved yourself courteous. And Upamanyu, having signified his accent to his preceptor, said, went away to attend cattle. Thus, having watched all day, he returned to his preceptor's house and stood before his preceptor and saluted him respectfully. And his preceptor, observing that he was still fat, again said unto him, Upamanyu, my child, I take from you all that you obtain in alms, and though you do not go begging for the second time, you are still healthy in condition. How do you support yourself? Upamanyu thus questioned, Sir, I live upon the milk of cows. The preceptor thereupon told him, It is not lawful for you to appropriate the milk without having first obtained my consent. And Upamanyu, thus having assented to the justice of these observations, went away to tend kine. And when he returned his preceptor's abode, he stood before him and saluted him as usual. And the preceptor, seeing him was still fat, said, Upamanyu, my child, you eat no longer of alms, nor you go for begging for second time, nor drink the milk. You're still fat. But why? What means do you contrive to live now? Upamanyu replied, Sir, I now sip the fourth that the calves throw out while sucking their mother's tits. And the preceptor said, These generous calves, I suppose, out of compassion for you, through a large quantities of froth. Would you stand in the way of their full meals by acting as you have done? No, this is unlawful for you to drink froth. Upamanyu, having signified his assent to this, went as before to tend cows, and restrained by his preceptor, he feed not on alms, nor hath anything to else to eat. He drink not the milk, nor taste the froth. And Upamanyu one day, oppressed by hunger, went in forest, ate the leaves of arka, Asclepias gigantea. This is the botanical name for the Sanskrit word arka, and his eyes, being affected by pungent, acrimonious, crude, and saline properties of the leaves which he had eaten, became blind. As he was crawling about, fell into a pit, and upon his not returning that day, when the sun was sinking down behind the summit of the western mountains, the preceptor observed to his disciples that Upamanyu was not yet there, and they told him that he had gone out with the cattle. The preceptor said, Upamanyu, being restrained by me from the use of everything, is, of course, do not come home until late. Therefore, let us go in search of him. And having said this, he went with his disciples to the forest, where he began to shout, Ho, Upamanyu, where are you? And Upamanyu, hearing his preceptor's voice, answered in a loud tone, Here I am in the bottom of well. And preceptor asked him how it happened to be over there. And Upamanyu replied, Having eaten the leaves of arka plant, I became blind, so I have fallen into the well. And this preceptor thereupon told him, Glorify the Ashwins, the joint physicians of the god, and they will restore you with your eyesight. And Upamanyu, thus directed by his preceptor, began to glorify the twins in these following words of Rig Veda. Ye have existed before the creation, ye first born beings. Ye are displayed in wondrous universe of five elements. I desire to obtain you by the help of knowledge derived from hearing and of meditation, for ye are infinite. Ye are the course itself of nature and intelligent soul that pervades that course. Ye are birds of beauteous feathers perched on the body that is like a tree. Ye are without the three common attributes of the soul. Ye are incomparable. Ye, through your spirit in every created being, pervade the universe. Ye are golden eagles. Ye are the essence into which all the things disappear. You are free from error and no deterioration. You are the beauteous beaks that would not just unjustly strike and are virtuous in every encounter. You are you certainly prevail over time. Having created the sun, you wave the wondrous cloth of the year by means of white thread of the day and black thread of the night. And so the cloth so woven, ye have established two courses of action appertaining respectively to the Devas and the Pitris. The bird of life seized by the time which represent the strength of infinite soul, you set free for delivering her into great happiness. They are in deep ignorance as long as they are under delusions of the senses. Suppose you, who are independent of these attributes of matter, to be gifted with form. 360 cows represented by 360 days produce one calf between them, which is a year. The calf is the creator and destroyer of all, seekers of truth, following different routes, draw the milk of true knowledge with its help. A Ashwins, A are the creators of that calf. The ear is but the nave of the wheel, to which is attached 720 spokes, representing as many days and nights. The circumference of this wheel, represented by 12 months, is without end. The wheel is full of delusions and knows no deterioration. It affects all creatures, whether to this or that of the world, of the other worlds. A Ashwins, this wheel of time is set in motion by you. The wheel of time is represented by a year, as a nave represented by 6 seasons. The number of spokes attached to the nave is 12, represented by the 12 signs of zodiac. The wheel of time manifests the fruits of the acts of all things. The presiding deities of time abide in that wheel. Subject as I am to the distressful influence, ye Ashwins, liberate me from the wheel of time. Ye Ashwins, you are the universe of 5 elements. Ye are the objects that are enjoyed in this and in the other world. Make me independent of 5 elements, and though you are supreme Brahma, yet you move over the earth in forms of enjoying delights that sense afford. In the beginning, you created 10 points of universe, then have placed a sun and sky above. The rishis, according to the course of time, same sun perform their sacrifices, and gods and men, according to what happened, what have been appointed for them, perform their sacrifices, also enjoying the fruits of those acts. Mixing the three colors, you have produced the objects of sight. It is from these objects that the universe has sprung, whereupon the gods and men are engaged in their respective occupations, and indeed all the creatures endued with life. A Ashwins, I adore you. I adore the sky in which is your handiwork. You are the ordainers of the fruits of all acts, from which even the gods are not free. You are free yourselves, free from the fruits of your acts. You are the parents of all. As males and females, it is ye that swallow the food which subsequently develops into life creating fluid and blood. Newborn infant sucks the tit of his mother. Indeed, it is ye that takes the shape of the infant. Ye Ashwins, grant me my sight, protect my life. The twin Ashwins, thus invoked, appeared and said, we are satisfied. Here is the cake for you. Take it and eat it. Upamanyu. And Upamanyu, thus addressed, replied, your words, O Ashwins, have never proved untrue. But without first offering the cake to my preceptor, I dare not to take it. And Ashwins thereupon told him, formerly your preceptor had invoked us. We thereupon gave him a cake like this, and he took it without offering to his master. Do you do that which your preceptor did? Thus addressed, Upamanyu again said unto them, O Ashwins, I crave your pardon. Without offering it to my preceptors, I dare not to apply this cake. The Ashwin said, oh, we are pleased with the devotion of you and your preceptor. Your master's teeth are black of black iron. Yours will be of gold. You shall be restored the sight and shall have good fortune. Thus spoken by the Ashwins, he recovered the sight, and having gone to preceptor's presence, he saluted him and told all. And the preceptor, well pleased with him, said unto him, you shall obtain prosperity, even as the Ashwins have said, and all the Vedas shall shine in you, and all the Dharmashastras. And this was a trial of Upamanyu. Then Veda was the other disciple of Ayoda Dhaumya, was called. His preceptor once addressed him, saying, Veda, my child, tarry some time in my house and serve your preceptor. It shall be to your profit. And Veda, having signified his assent, tarried long in the family of his preceptor, mindful of serving him like an ox under the burdens of his master. He bore the heat and cold, hunger and thirst all the times without a murmur. It was not long before his preceptor was satisfied, and the consequence of that satisfaction, Veda obtained good fortune of universal knowledge. And this was the trial of Veda. And Veda, having received permission from his preceptor and leaving the latter residence after the completion of his studies, entered the domestic mode of life. And having lived in his house, he got 3 people and never told them to perform any work or obey implicitly by his own behest. For having himself experienced much woe while abiding the family of preceptor, he liked not to treat them with severity. After a certain time, Janamejeya and Paushya, both of the order of Kshatriyas, arriving at his residence, the Brahmana Veda of his spiritual guide Upadhyaya, one day, while about to depart on some business related to sacrifice, he employed one of his disciples, Utanka, to take charge of his household. Utanka said, he whatsoever should have to be done in my house, let it be done by you without neglect. And having given these orders, Utanka, he went on his journey. So Utanka, always mindful of injunction with his preceptor, took up his abode in the latter's house. And while Utanka was residing there, the females of his preceptor's house, having assembled, addressed him and said, "Oh, Utanka, your mistress is in the season when connubial connection might be fruitful. The preceptor is absent. Then stand you in his place and do the needful." And Utanka thus addressed said unto those women, "It is not proper for me to do this at the bidding of women. I have not been enjoined by preceptors to do aught that is improper." After a while, his preceptor returned from his journey, and the preceptor, having learnt all that had happened, became well pleased, addressing Utanka and said, "My child, what favor shall I do bestow on you? I have been served by you duly. Therefore, hath our friendship for each other increased. I grant you leave to depart. Go you, let your wishes be accomplished." Utanka, thus addressed, replied, "Let me do something that you wish. It has been said, he who bestows instruction contrary to usage, he who received it in contrary to usage. One of the two diet, enmity springeth upon up between the two. I therefore, who have received your leave to depart, I am desirous of bringing some honorarium due to a preceptor." His master, upon hearing this, replied, "Utanka, my child, wait for a while." Sometime after, Utanka addressed his preceptor, saying, "Command me to bring that for honorarium which you desire." And his preceptor said, "My dear Utanka, you has been told me your desire to bring something by the way of acknowledgement for the instruction thou have received. Go then, ask your mistress what thou art to bring, and bring thou that she directs." And thus, directed by preceptor, Utanka addressed his preceptress, saying, "Madam, I have obtained my master's leave to go home, and I am desirous of bringing something agreeable to you as an honorarium for the instruction that I have received, in order that I may not depart as his debitor. Therefore, please command me what I am to bring." She thus addressed, preceptor replied, "Go to King Portia and beg of him the pair of earrings worn by his queen, and bring them here. The fourth day hence is sacred day, which I wish to appear before the Brahmanas, who may dine in my house, decked with those earrings. Then accomplish this, O Utanka, if you should succeed. Good fortune shall attend you. If not, what good can you expect?" Utanka, commanded by this, by her, took his departure, and as he was passing along the road, saw a bull of extraordinary size, a man of uncommon stature mounted thereon. The man addressed Utanka, "Eat thou of the dung of this bull." Utanka, however, was unwilling to comply. The man said again, "O Utanka, eat it without scrutiny. Your master ate it before." And Utanka signified his assent, and ate the dung and drank the urine of that bull, and rose respectfully, washing his hands, mouth, and went to the king where Pusha was. This I will continue in another video.